Hello everyone, BuzZz here, and welcome back to Space Engineers. Now if you watched my last video, you'll know that I've been working on yet another Star Citizen project. But before I share it with you, I wanted to tell you something I've done a little bit differently. Now in comments and in some private messages, I've had a few people asking me for tips on how to build in Space Engineers. I decided to do them one better. I actually live streamed the build of the ship I'm about to show you. I tried to do it on the Steam using the Steam broadcast service, but unfortunately it maxes out at 1080p and I play in 4K. Now this normally wouldn't be an issue except for whenever someone joined the stream, it would lock my mouse cursor into the 1080p size window and made the game unplayable. So I decided to go ahead and go to Twitch, and I did do some live streams on there. I took 2 days to build the ship, and well, let me go ahead and show it to you now. And here it is. This is the Aegis Sabre. Now I know they say Aegis and sometimes they say Aegis, and I'll probably be back and forth because I haven't figured out what the actual correct pronunciation is. And even if it does turn out to be Aegis, I'll probably keep on saying Aegis because I'm a creature of habit, but I'll try to remember to say Aegis from now on. But yes, this is the new medium fighter that was just released to a concept sale, and I've built it here in Space Engineers. So I don't want to say this ship was easy to build, but it was probably one of the less difficult ones that I've done. The hardest things, of course, were these wings, because not only are they angled backwards, but they're angled downwards as well. And you also had another angle on the tail fins. Well, the tail fins are 45 degrees, and that's fairly easy to do in Space Engineers. It's a little bit harder to do the lesser angles. But I kept it as close as I could. Aesthetically, I've had to make a few modifications to the ship just to make it look a little bit better. Because I couldn't recreate the original as faithfully as I have on some of the other ships. It was really difficult. The ship has a lot of intricate details that I could not put in on Space Engineers. So I compensated by making a few little additions here and there. One thing you'll notice is the front intakes are actually, sorry about that, a new block that was just released to Space Engineers about, I think it was a week ago. These are the hydrogen thrusters, and unfortunately they do require fuel. Now, they don't actually expend fuel in creative mode, which is what I built the ship in, and which you'll have to fly the ship in because I had to do like on the Cutlass. I had to turn off the thruster damage, but you do have to have them connected to a hydrogen tank, and you can see the hydrogen tank right here. And I could not cover that completely, unfortunately. But I think it actually lends the ship a little bit of extra detail that was kind of lacking otherwise. The actual ship does have parts of the engines actually exposed, but not that much. But I think you can agree, it looks pretty decent the way it is. Paint job was another thing I kind of struggled with. There's a lot of black on gray, a little bit of red highlights, and it was really hard to get it quite right. And I think I'm not too happy with the gray I chose. It's got a little bit too much blue in it for me. Probably should have gone with something a little more like what I've got on the engines here. But I'll probably keep on adjusting it. Another concession I had to make is I wanted to put in the retractable weapons, at least on the front where the cockpit is. And I tried to place a piston here so that this Gatling cannon would be able to slide forward and back. Unfortunately, the piston would not attach to the cannon no matter what I tried. So I had to leave it out. So it is fixed. But I do have the 4 weapons. 2 on the wings and 2 on the nose here. Let's see how she flies. Now I did use a single seat cockpit because the ship does not have any internal space. Actually made it a little bit easier to build and left me a little bit more room. I had to place a bunch of engines inside. As I said, you'll have to disable thruster damage because the ship will burn itself apart if you fly without it turned off, that is. So let's power up. And you can see another great thing about the hydrogen thrusters is they have a yellow effect, which goes well with the ship's front air intakes. Let's go ahead and lift off. Sometimes the landing gear gets stuck. There we go. The ship's not as fast as I would have liked. In the up and down axis, it's especially slow. Side to side is okay. And its forward thrust is fairly decent. I may need to put some more power on there. You can see I'm overloaded. And it does drift quite a bit, which of course is not at all in keeping with the actual ship, which is supposed to be a very, very nimble fighter. But with those hydrogen thrusters on the front, the ship does stop incredibly fast. At least if the front is facing towards your direction of travel. There I was drifting. Here I am accelerating, and I'll let off. And you can see it does come to a stop very, very quickly. Those hydrogen thrusters are very, very powerful. The only mod I used on this ship was the small ship mega mod pack. I had to use that to put a few panels on to cover a few things. And of course the lights. For nav lights on this one, I just went with red on either side. So that keeps with what the actual ship looks like in concept. But I did go ahead and add a couple of strobes, one on top and one on bottom. Another thing I'm not too happy with is the bottom. It's missing some of the details, but I did want the ship to be able to land on its own landing gear, so I kind of simplified the bottom as well. But overall, I think it came out fairly well. And if you want to pick up this ship, it will be in my Steam workshop. That link is in the comments, or in the description of the video below, along with the link to my Twitch channel. So not a lot of people showed up to the Twitch event. I wasn't expecting it. But I did archive the video, so if you want to watch me build this ship from almost the ground up, you can watch the entire process from almost the very start to the beginning. I did some of it while on the Steam broadcast, but it wasn't much. You'll get to see at least about 95 plus of the ship being built. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like or subscribe button. And until next time, this has been BuzZz, and I'll see you guys in the verse.